So you really want me to commentate on a helicopter landing? Okay. There are some people not in the sky wearing very, very elaborate uniforms. They are not members, as far as I can tell, of the royal family. Therefore, they have probably earned the right to wear those uniforms through actual military service. They are being kept at a distance as the carriages await the arrival of Marine One, of course, is the helicopter. They bring their own helicopters with them. They do, on the plane. So they put a helicopter. It's like Thunderbirds, isn't it? Thunderbirds is a very popular 1970s creation of the great auteur Jerry Anderson, which features puppets and especially a trademark technology to make them look like real humans. And they had vehicles that came out of other vehicles. There's 2 or 3 helicopters, and they would all have taken off from the residence in Regent's Park, would they? From the ambassadors. I'm always reminded at these moments when everyone was waiting for Boris Yeltsin to get off an aeroplane during some state visit, whether to this country or another, and they were waiting for ages because apparently the old fellow had been at the vodka during the course of the flight and he was in no fit state to get off the plane unaided. That is unlikely to be the case on this august occasion because, of course, Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, is a renowned teetotalist. I mean, I don't know about his wife or indeed what will be served at dinner, but you can rest assured you'll be reading about it tomorrow, probably including the full menu in the Daily Mail. If you're just joining us on LBC, the Marine One helicopter, which contains the President of the United States of America, is yet to land on the lawn at Windsor Castle. The First Lady, of course, Melania, will be accompanying POTUS on this occasion. And I would estimate that the helicopter is now approximately, what would you say, Keith, 10 feet off the ground? And of course, there is a human being standing there for scale. So these are very big helicopters, albeit not the... no, I know he's not standing there for scale, but for people watching on the screen, the human being provides scale. He's actually instructing the helicopter pilot where to land, and the Eagle has landed. It's not unlike Christmas morning now, waiting to see what is contained within the wrapping of the enormous helicopter. But they're not opening the door just yet. I've been told that we are not to go to a break until the President has, and I believe the technical term here is disembarked from the helicopter upon which he has travelled to Windsor, albeit that at this moment in time we do not know whether or not the helicopter that has just landed is the helicopter that contains the actual President. If the controller of the BBC is listening at the moment, I am available for major state occasions. God forbid that there should be any soon, because it would probably involve personal and family tragedy on the part of the royal family. So I hope it is a long and distant day upon which commentary would be required for major state occasions. But I stress to the aforementioned chairman, controller, whoever may be making that important decision, I am available for all engagements. I'm sure LBC would give me time off to do the telly if and when there is a requirement for such contributions to. And I think we are about to see the President and the First Lady disembark, or, I mean, to use the vernacular, get off the helicopter. Here they come. So 2 ramps have been lowered upon, well, what is presumably Marine One. Someone who is not Donald Trump has just got off wearing a lanyard, which no doubt contains security detail and possibly some identifying characteristics, and now the world waits. And the cameras focus on the empty door. Someone has come down the other set of stairs. Some confusion as to which set of stairs the President himself may come down, and shortly the Prince and Princess of Wales will come over to the aircraft in order to welcome the President and the First Lady. And there they are, the Prince and Princess of Wales, moving in a sombre fashion towards the left-hand staircase, I can confirm, the left-hand staircase at the top of which Donald Trump has just emerged. The Prince of Wales, of course, himself, a well-known helicopter pilot, so no doubt casting an expert eye over some of the technology. And the President now shaking hands with the Princess of Wales, and the First Lady wearing a very fetching hat shaped of a purple complexion, making their way towards the castle, Windsor Castle, which American tourists often wonder why it was decided to build a castle so near to Heathrow Airport, of course. A question perhaps for the ages, or possibly tomorrow's Nisbet. And so it falls to William and Kate, the Prince and Princess of Wales, to provide escort duties to the President, who I have to tell you looks absolutely delighted to be here. His wife perhaps less so, although we probably shouldn't read too much into that. And they will make their way to the Lord Chamberlain's office for a special ceremony. So, breaking news. And there is the King. I've got a real soft spot for the King. I don't know why. But there is the King, conducting himself with all of the decorum and class that we have come to expect. Ditto the Queen. Camilla now being introduced to the President and the First Lady. Pageantry galore in place, as would be the case, I think, for all state visits, but one can't help wondering whether or not they have ramped it up to, again, another technical term, the max, for the arrival of Donald Trump, because he is so clearly enamoured of the pageantry and the trappings of royalty. King Charles now introducing the President to some of the assembled dignitaries, and no doubt as a precursor, observing the formalities. There's Private Secretary Sir Clive Alderton, the first, and his wife, Lady Alderton, the first to be introduced, and these formalities no doubt will be followed by ingress into the castle. A little bit of banter being exchanged with some of the rather splendidly uniformed members of our armed forces in attendance. And I got no doubt after well, it's not a long flight. They arrived yesterday, but no doubt an opportunity for a little bit of rest and relaxation. If someone could have a word with the helicopter pilot, I think he'd be okay to turn off the rotors now, interfering not only with the clarity of this broadcast, but also on occasion distracting me, although it is the only sound that we have from Windsor Castle, so it's possible that this commentary, in the absence of the helicopter noise in the background, it's possible that this commentary would sound even weirder and more amateurish than it does already. Yep, I think we can play back up the thank you, which at least provides some context for what is currently happening on your radio. And now a horse has arrived. Forgive me, several horses pulling a carriage. And this is, I think, again, to use a technical term, this is known as the full Cinderella. There are 6 horses there. Spoiler alert, they will not turn back into mice at midnight, but there are 6 lavishly plumed horses there of a white or perhaps grey complexion, pulling a beautiful golden coach, into which the King and the President, the Queen and the First Lady. It is, I believe, the Scottish state coach for fans of such vehicles, and it is flanked, or indeed followed, by many more horses, being ridden by many more lavishly attired members of the armed forces. And they're off. No members of the public present, of course, so this is effectively a journey across King Charles's garden in a massive golden coach pulled by 6 horses, and followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. And then there's another carriage which contains, I think, the ambassador, or possibly his wife. So there's about 1, 2, 3, about 10 horses, 12 possibly, 2 carriages for a journey that essentially involves covering the yards from where the helicopter landed in the King's Garden to the castle, technically also in the King's Garden, in which they will have lunch.